Not on this show.
This is Rutledge and Hamilton with Jim Rutledge and Matt Hamilton, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN.
Because obviously a couple off seasons ago, you decided to drink that tea.
Yeah, that's right.
In the middle of a jungle called ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca. Ayahuasca.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN Madison studio with Matt Hamilton, here's Jim Rutledge.
I don't need to talk to Alex Stroh. I don't have headphones on, so I just can't hear you or what's going on. I was doing my other part of my job here at ESPN Madison. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. The mountains are blue, Alex Stroh. You know what to do.
And that's crush a Coors Light, though you cannot hear anything I'm saying right now.
I know that you said you crushed a Coors Light, even though you think I didn't hear you. Chris Orr with me. We are live from the Spark Building. Chris Orr sparking controversy yesterday, talking Badger basketball.
Yep.
And you standing by your stance there that the Badgers need better basketball players to have a better program?
Yeah, I'm standing by it. I mean, I think that what people need to realize about basketball is that your players have a greater impact on your program than anything else. You know, the production, the split of the production in football, you always talk about knowing your 111. Like, that's your job when you take the field. In basketball, there's only 5 of you, and you're going both ways. So players and the talent, but also I think just the scheme. I don't know, because I think our scheme restricts some of our players. Like, I honestly don't know how good some of these guys could be in a different scheme, to be honest.
That's interesting, because the take was yesterday, those coming at you was, oh, well, you know, Johnny Davis was here. But a kid from Wisconsin, you should have a competitive advantage to bring him in. And you didn't get out of the first week in the NCAA tournament with Johnny Davis. So it's honestly more of a detriment. You finally get that guy and you do bupkis. You do absolutely nothing. Yeah. So we're going to get to Aaron Rodgers and his crazy time on the Pat McAfee show. But the question I have is, maybe I'm being too hard on guard. One of our teammates, Ben Wittes, was asking the question of, can Wisconsin actually be a program that has great basketball and great football? Is that feasible anymore? Basically, we're asking, can we get back to the glory days? And no offense to your time with Badger football, but the true glory days of Wisconsin athletics in the Power 5 conference. Shout out to Molly Brown for bringing my headphones in there. That's why she's America's favorite producer. But, I mean, Alex Stroh definitely just had to sit back there and push buttons instead of going to get my headphones for me.
Yeah, because I know where you keep your headphones.
You could have asked in my ear. I could have told you. I texted.
How was I supposed to ask in your ear exactly?
Oh, you could have texted me, right? Because I texted Molly Brown while Chris Orr was talking. I said, hey, could you get my headphones? They're in my drawer.
It's not my fault you show up a minute before the show.
America's favorite producer, Molly Brown, coming through. Resourceful. But getting back to this, Bo Ryan, Brett Bielema. That was the era. And it had a lot to do with basketball. But basketball in that time, Sweet 16s, Elite Eights, obviously, then, you know, there's a little bit of overlap with Chris and Gary Anderson and with Bo, what Bo was doing with the basketball program. But that was kind of that window where the football program was truly peaking. And Paul Chris had him at high levels, but then basketball wasn't quite there. So it wasn't that, like, the football program never got there. It was times where basketball wasn't holding up their end of the bargain, and then football wasn't. And I don't know, maybe they'll never happen again. I mean, can Badger athletics get back to the glory days of Bo Ryan and Brett Bielema? And I don't like Brett Bielema. I don't want him back. I don't think he's a great guy. I don't think he runs a great program. I think that was heavily to do with Barry Alvarez, but he was the head coach. So he gets the credit for it. And so I would love those glory days, which to me, multiple Rose Bowls, multiple Sweet 16s, and Elite Eight, Final Four thrown in there. And football's at least got you optimistic for it now that maybe some things have changed. Basketball, I don't see that coming because Greg Gard doesn't make Sweet 16s consistently. He doesn't win 20 games consistently. The program isn't consistently exciting. And then recruiting, it's fine. And I know the Big Ten seems to have fallen off some. You can't argue when you win 18 games and you win the Big Ten. I mean, it's kind of a hard sell to go otherwise. But 844-770-3776. That's the talking text line. We'll ask this as our first Iron Jock poll question. I think we all can agree, even Alex, who's got some sort of relation to Greg Gard I'm unaware of, that the glory days for Badger Athletics was with Bo Ryan and Brett Bielema at the helms of their programs, at least as far as the two revenue generating sports.
Right. Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, I guess something that I'd like to see, I just want to see not necessarily Coach Gard getting fired, but I would love to see Mac challenge him and saying, hey man, like I need to see more of you as a coach. I want to see you change your game plan. I want to see you change, the program for the better. These are my visions for the program. I want it to be exciting. I want recruiting to be exciting. I want the basketball games to be exciting. I want our fans to not be able to sit down during the game because there's too much fun happening on the court. And I think by doing that, you'll see, who Coach Gard is as a coach, because I think a lot of coaches are capable of doing that.
You have to find a balance here
Mhm.
under Coach Gard. You can't change your stripes, if you will, but can he find a way to make this offense more appealing
Right.
to every type of player? The player that truly is one and done, that would want to come here. Is he willing to say, you know what, especially if it's a player that fits the offense? I mean, we have seen whether it's been Jordan Taylor or Alonzo Tucker, but Sam Decker, Frank Kaminsky, if a player fits the offense, they do make changes. Those were all under Bo Ryan, but you saw it a little bit with Johnny Davis. Hey, if you're going to come here and be a one-and-done guy, you'll run our offense, but we'll put you in the most important position in this offense where you're going to have the ball in your hand every time.
And that'll bring up recruiting. Like, that's going to bring up recruiting, because at the end of the day, it's like Madison's a great campus. Like, man, you're going to have fun. You're going to have time of your life here. I think every recruit sees that when they come here. But I think when they go home, that's when they have to have that hard conversation, with their family, or looking in the mirror and saying, all right, for my dreams, my goals, my aspirations, can this place truly get me there? Because at the end of the day, that's the deciding factor. Like, I'm not even going to lie to y'all out there. Like, you research your school a little bit, but truly when you're coming out, you're thinking about, can I live here for 4 years? And can this program help get me to where I want to get to athletically, to be honest? I know people think that it's talk about choosing the school for this or that, but that's the truth.
Look, you want to be able to, have fun, whether you're playing football or basketball, maybe have the opportunity to play at the next level.
Yep.
And I think it's fair to question, can Badger basketball and football combined get back to where they were? And maybe I'm biased. That's when I was around the teams more. And it was always going to the Big Ten championship. If you're the football program, that seemed to be a regular trip, and getting to the Rose Bowl. And now, and then you also had, multiple dynamic offensive players. Again, going back to this wasn't just talk about basketball. And when Brust and Gosser and that whole crew, Douye and all those players were freshmen, there was Taylor in front of them, and John Lure and Nankiville and Bruzewitz and Ryan Evans. Those players were all in front of them. Go back to the football team with Scott Tolzien as their quarterback. I mean, that offensive line had NFL starters on top of NFL starters. And then you had Gilreath and Isaac Anderson and Beckham, and then you had Toon and Abadaris all on the same team with White, Ball, and Clay in the backfield.
Yep.
I mean, it's talent upon talent and depth and stacking it. That's where Wisconsin basketball and football have always been there. And basketball's not there. There's not top-tier talent stacked upon top-tier talent ready to take over for the next guy on this program. You cannot tell me that. That is not the case. 844-770-3776. Can Badger Athletics get to a point? And right now we're putting it on basketball because football, rightfully so, we have some high expectations and we're excited about it. Is that unfair? I don't know, but maybe we're tired of being the nice guys.
I mean, yeah, that's tough. I don't know, man. You got me thinking here. Now I'm thinking about all my years here. It's hard because I know, when I was coming out was when we went to the Final Four, and I don't think we got anywhere close to that while I was here. From a football perspective, we made it to the Big Ten I at least played in 3 Big Ten championship games.
Again, it's not a football knock.
Yeah. I think now is the question is, like, I would urge all the fans to set your goals higher. Like, that was honestly one thing when I got here that I was like, all right, like, are we just playing to try to get to the Rose Bowl? Which I understand, back in the day, during the BCS era, especially, it was pretty big. It was like, all right, if you're not ranked number 1 and 2, you're not playing national championship. So you're the best Big Ten team. And, that is your natty. But I think now everybody's goal should be, you're trying to get into the playoffs for football because that's the next step. And then in basketball, honestly, I think you want to routinely be in the Elite Eight in the Final Four. But I think it could happen. I don't think it's impossible because you have the attraction here, you have the history here. I think now it's just getting a couple of coaches in there in the right spot, on the same page with Mac and pushing the programs forward. And I think that could happen. I don't even think it necessarily needs to happen without guard. Like, I think guard can do it too. I think you just got to challenge him as a coach.
You do.
Yeah.
There is also something to, as you talked about, the expectations for a program. When Barry Alvarez arrives, he says they better get season tickets right now because before long they won't be able to.
Yep.
Coach Fickle and Chris, this is not, but it's almost like being the president of the United States. You're kind of CEO. You're also figurehead. And Fickle and again, I don't like Bielema. He had a presence. Bo Ryan had a presence. Bo Ryan would feed you complete trash as far as answers in a post game. You'd eat it up because he was just telling a story and had high energy and would just distract you with smoke and mirrors. You'd be like, wow, he didn't really answer the question I asked, but and on the sidelines, he had this presence and Fickle has it and Bielema had it. Barry obviously has it. And Chris,
he had it.
He had it.
I was on them sidelines. He had it.
He didn't hold it, but he didn't, not from a fan perspective.
See,
so you can do it, but I'm saying my point being it's branding. From a fan perspective, Paul, not a guy who was going out raising money for the program, not doing all the booster things needed to be done, not being the face of the organization. That the players are important, but you also need that coach to be that guy. Look at Nick Saban, Urban Meyer. I mean, but every top program in the country has that coach who's out in front.
Yeah, but I guess my answer to that would be, that doesn't matter.
But it does from a fan perspective.
See, but the true branding of a program is wins and losses.
Okay.
That's the true branding of a program. Because if even UCF, for example, nobody was talking about UCF until they started winning. They started beating everybody. They started going undefeated over and over again. And that's when all the buzz came. They started playing these big games, knocking off these big opponents. So
but there was a swagger to Frost over there. Now he lost it in Nebraska.
Yeah, but like my argument would just be like Nick Saban, for example, he has that name because of his wins. It's not about what he does in front of the camera. It's not about what he's.
And I'm not saying it's about what he does in the camera, but there's still an ownership of the room. And I can speak to it as a fan and someone covering teams that, Brett came in and he just, it was like an aura, like an orbit around him. It just pulled everyone in. And it's not, but to the flip side, he's nowhere close to the schematic genius that Paul Chryst was, or the guy that Paul Chryst was. So everyone's got their strengths and weaknesses, but especially with recruiting, different things. And Chris, you might respond to Paul, but other players might not. In basketball, I think even more so.
For sure.
Like a Patino, Calipari. I mean,
for sure.
It is you talked about it. I want to go pro. I want to be this. You want a guy who can own the stadium, own the sidelines, own the recruiting trail. You got name and likeness. You got the portal. You got the NBA. And then you got a style of offense. So to your point, guard doesn't have to be Bo Ryan on the sidelines or Patino or Calipari.
For sure.
But then he better be those guys in recruiting and name and likeness and behind the scenes. I'll go back to the quote I used yesterday from Luke Fickle. He doesn't necessarily like or feel super comfortable having to do some of the things that they do now for the players when they come in. It's like what you see Kelly down at LSU doing. And yeah, you get a hold of it on social media and you might goof or laugh at it.
Right.
But he also knows this is the job.
What they like.
Yep. And so at the bare minimum, then the Badgers got to get better players.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know. Like, to be honest, to me, recruiting, I think what's important about recruiting is that you're recruiting in a way that aligns with your program. So whatever that might be, they're still 5-star, players or 4-star or even just great players without the stars.
Yeah, stars are stars. Yeah, they're
I'll tell everybody out there right now, you get stars by being 6'2" in 9th grade. Like, that's how you get your stars. And
like Badger basketball, I don't need to name names, but you know who they are. There are guys who showed up here with some stars.
Oh yeah,
who couldn't move their feet.
Man, it's everywhere. Yeah, Anyway, but just recruiting, great players or great talents. I think first, it starts with the vision of the program. What is the vision of your program? vision entails how do you want your players to behave on and off the court, on and off the field. How do you want how do the players align with being a student here at UW? Because, man, here at UW, it's a lot different than a lot of other places where people don't realize, like, you're not getting some of these. It's not that we have never been recruiting some of these players or going after some of these players. It's more so the fact that you can go after some of these players and you can't get some of them in, or some of them don't even want to. They don't want to come to an institution where it's like, yeah, man, like being a student athlete here is real. And I can tell people that because, like, I lived it. And I know guys that are going to other schools don't want to, like, talk about any other programs, but go there to schools and, you know, they're telling me, like, man, I barely did any of my work. Like, I barely even had to do it. So all of those things come into play, which is something that it's a limitation that I think people don't think about at all, to be honest.
Well, and look, you talk about stars. You were a 3-star guy, outperformed your stars. Evan Anderson, basketball, 3-star guy. I mean, I don't know. I give him a half star as far as how, I mean, just the way he finished his career. But that's just he was a big, tall kid. Couldn't move laterally to defend or make plays. I mean, it's just, but you obviously undersized those stars, you overperform. And I even think that happens more in football than in basketball.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Putting all that aside, I agree with all that. So maybe we've answered it, that the Badger basketball program, maybe Great Guard is as good as it gets.
Yeah.
And maybe we should just take it. Maybe that's what we decided, is that this is it. We can listen to Alex Strofe and call ourselves good and wins, never do anything in the tournament, sometimes win 20-plus games, and we'll just be happy with it. Maybe that's what our fate is, though.
No. You should never be okay with just being okay. Like, I think that's the responsibility of fans. I think the responsibilities of fans is to put pressure on programs because you want them to exceed your expectations. Like, I think you should have the same drive and hunger. You know what I mean? It'll show in different ways, but you should have that same drive, I think. And I just think that you shouldn't necessarily I always hate seeing, like, when people just say, oh, fire this coach, fire this, fire that, because there's so many other factors that, like, people don't think about. But at the same time, I think that if you hire a coach and you believe in that coach, in that interview, throughout that entire process, you understood what this coach was going to bring to the table as far as their philosophy in calling their sports or calling their games and for running their program. But if it's not how you see it, as an athletic director, owner, whatever it is, then I think it's your job then to challenge that coach and say, hey, I want to see some more of this. We want to score more points. We want to be more exciting. We want to do this and that. We want to recruit better, whatever the case is. Like, I think you just challenge that coach. Like, I think that's the only answer. You challenge him. And then from that point on, not saying that just because you challenge them, it's going to change, because sometimes it's just like, hey, man, like, these guys just aren't as good as some people we had in the past. Like, and that's just a pill you're going to have to swallow, even though they were supposed to be this, coming out of high school. They're just not that guy. But if you see some improvement, if you see the development, you see a trend heading in the way that you want, then I think you have nothing but happy to be, And I think that comes after you challenge them. Just like, that'd be my example when I would talk about the football program. Like, if you were saying you want to do this, this, and that, right? Then, you bring a coach in, or if it's your interim coach, shout out Coach Leonard, man, my dog. But you tell them your visions or plans for the program. You tell them what you want to see. You see if that aligns with them, and then you say, all right, I want to see some type of change in that. And that, to me, that meeting itself lets your coach know your seat hot, man. Like, this skillet getting hot, and we just put some oil in there.
You could,
like, you about to burn up soon if you don't fix this.
Look, we don't want to be Iowa football, where Ferentz has written into his performance contract, hey, score 24 points a game and win 7 games. That's what's written into it.
Are you for real?
What would we write into Greg Gard? You can look it up. It's out there. And
Really?
He got knocked
No
down
way.
$50,000 in his pay, and his new performance bonuses, it's written in there. It's 20-something points a game and 7 wins. Ideally a bowl game.
Whoa. No
And
way. See, I
What
don't like the
would we
point.
write in for Greg Gard?
I don't like that point. I don't
Maybe
like the
that's what we
point.
should do a little bit later, because I want to get there in Rodgers. Maybe we write out the addendum to Greg Gard's contract of, like, this is what we need. I want to go on this. But Greg Gard, definitely a winner. A 655 winning percentage at the University of Wisconsin. And Bo Ryan, winner, 737 winning percentage at the University of Wisconsin, 27-15 in the NCAA tournament. That's what I long for. But by no means is Greg Gard like a negative coach. He is there. But winners, they both are. And winners go to Ho Chunk, Amy Madison. You can see when we go to break here on our stream at Jim and Matt and on YouTube that we are, Ho Chunk has nearly $12 million in jackpots already this year. Just in the month of January, over $11 million in jackpots. The more you go, the more you win. Highest payouts in the area. Go to Ho Chunk, Amy Madison. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. The mountains are blue, and we can prove it. Follow the show on Twitter at Jim and Matt. Breaking news on ESPN Madison is presented by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or visit metrokiaofmadison.com.
Hey, Matt Hamilton here to talk to you a little bit about Leinekugels and the choice that I use to make my decisions on Gold Medal Tuesday. I love all of their beers. They've got delicious shandies, fantastic IPAs, the Box, the Weiss, even the Spritzen drinks. They're all delicious and they can be mixed, which is insane. Because for close to 155 years, Leine's has stayed true to Jacob Leinekugel's vision for combining the German brewing traditions of his homeland with the innovative spirit of his new home here in Wisconsin. Today, you'll find that spirit alive and well inside our wide range of German-inspired beers. Trust me, you will find a delicious beer when you get some Leinekugels. Go find it wherever you get delicious beer. And remember, you got to be 21 years or older to enjoy.
Whether catering an event or dining in, I recommend North and South Seafood and Smokehouse. Jim Rutledge here, and from their slow-cooked brisket to their fish fry and everything in between, North and South Seafood and Smokehouse has earned our love on Rutledge and Hamilton. They're the official barbecue joint of our show, and they should be your first choice the next time you eat out. Tell them Jim and Matt sent you. North and South Seafood and Smokehouse in Madison, Verona, and DeForest.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. I joined the Princeton Club because I was looking for a place I could invest in my health, and the environment and the community I have felt has made it so easy for me to incorporate it into my everyday life. It doesn't matter where you're at in your fitness journey because they have something to offer everyone. It also goes beyond fitness. From the moment you walk in the club to the moment you walk out, there is a togetherness felt throughout the members and staff that keeps you going for your better tomorrow. Don't wait any longer and get started on your fitness journey today at PrincetonClub.net. That's PrincetonClub.net.
UW Credit Union presents the Prep Mania Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org. Here's Dennis Semra with the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
Our ESPN Madison UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, Taylor Moreau from Monona Grove High School. Welcome, Taylor.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
A senior, you're a three-sport athlete. A Silver Eagle. What does it mean to you to be a Silver Eagle?
We all take great pride in our sports and athletics. So just building that community in the school and outside has been really nice and fun.
Now, you're a three-sport athlete, so it's volleyball, basketball, and track and field you've done in the past. Favorite?
Basketball.
When you were growing up, was there a Silver Eagle that you kind of emulated?
Having McKenna Warnock go through our program before that, she was always someone that everyone looked up to and was like, oh my gosh, it's McKenna. And so she graduated right before I got into high school.
This is Jen Latta from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy for St. Kate the Arts Hotel. During your next visit to Milwaukee, St. Kate is the ideal destination for any stay. Recognized as one of Milwaukee's most esteemed hotels, St. Kate offers a modern luxury experience with an artful twist. With a prime location downtown in Milwaukee's Theater District, St. Kate serves as a creative hub for the city, where every aspect of the hotel is inspired by music, painting, sculpture, and design. It's a place to discover, remember, and connect. Learn more and book your next stay by visiting stkatearts.com.
The offseason is here, and so is the same question.
If Green Bay moves on from Aaron Rodgers, that is putting yourself out there.
He has stated pretty clearly that he is not going to hold the organization hostage.
Will he stay or will he go?
Sure, he regressed a little bit, but that basically you're just giving up on someone and saying, no, he's going to stink the rest of the way.
He doesn't have to go on the air and tell you all the time, I want to retire. Maybe I don't want to retire.
Rodgers Watch continues on 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand. You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
I'm not having any fun. I'm not feeling so alone. For once, every voice is like a low. Dead gunshots fired and the words get spun like a web. I'm not having any fun.
Alex Strope not having any fun talking about his uncle, Craig Gard. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. I'm Jim Rutledge, alongside former Badger Chris Orr. We're in the Spark Building, ESPN Madison Studios. Get into the show, 844-770-3776. Brett Leclerc chimes in, and I want to transition to Aaron Rodgers as he yesterday had his astrology seminar. Chris was super into.
I still want to know what he gained from
that. Notoriety.
Yeah,
I guess. I don't know.
Keeping his name in the news and in the media since his Super Bowl week.
Yeah, maybe gain some clarity on where he'll. How many universities top basketball and top football programs are they, though?
I mean, to be honest, Kentucky's trending that way.
Kentucky's moving up, but I'm saying Badger basketball and football. I can't call them top.
Yeah, you can't call them top.
Who is then?
But that's
who
a different.
is?
That's a different
But
conversation.
if you can't call him top, then who is?
Well, to me, it's just like it's too. To be honest, like good, not good enough program.
If you go since 2000, I'd go in no particular order: Wisconsin, Ohio State, Florida. There's the only three I can think of.
Yeah, but the thing
Oregon,
is,
maybe.
But the thing is, like, those teams like actually reached the top.
But I don't want to go 2000 because that's still under
areas.
Bo's peak. I'm saying my whole question is, can we get back? So Brett's point is, and maybe the answer is no. Can we get back to what we were? 2000s was Bo here.
I would challenge fans to like really think about quote what we were like. Even though like not to take anything away, like yeah, we won 3 straight Big Ten championships, but we lost in the Rose Bowl. Like we got there, but we lost. And like even in basketball, like oh, you made it to the Final Four, like or you made it here and you lost. Like some of those other programs that you brought up, to me, it's just like the conversation we had. I don't know if it was last week or a couple weeks ago when we were talking about football organizations and who would you rather have in the last 10 years. And it's like you're going to take the teams that are either in the Super Bowl or winning the Super Bowl. And I think it's the same with any and every other sport. Like if Florida, and I think they have, right? Florida and Ohio State between those times have won a national championship. So like that's the actual top. Like we're just close to the summit. They're on top of the summit.
Tennessee football right now, but we're looking at 1 year. Texas football won 8 games. They're in the top 10 in basketball right now. So it's not impossible. Or maybe it is impossible. That's the question. But Brett, right now, it ain't it. Because I'm sorry, college basketball is about making runs in the tournament. It's the same standard that Bo Ryan was held to. I talked about this yesterday. Gabe Neitzel and I used to do shows here in Madison defending Bo Ryan to the wall because people are like, oh, he only got to the Sweet 16 or he only got to 1 Elite 8. And then he put all that to bed with the Final Four. But he was taking heat too. But his heat was like, oh, great, you always make the tournament and you always win 20 games and you never finish lower than 4th. But when are you going to go farther than the Sweet 16 in the tournament? That I would love for that to be the new debate for Badger basketball. But we ain't there yet. Let's hear from Aaron Rodgers before we go to break here. And I wonder how he feels about how Steve Wilkes has gone to the 49ers. So they've replaced Ryans over there. So a NFC contender replacing a great defensive coordinator with another great defensive coordinator who will likely be a head coach in the future. And then Brian Flores coming to the NFC North. But hey, Vic Fangio coming out of retirement, not for the Packers. The Packers said, we got Joe Barry. Jim Leonard sitting down, got nothing to do. Packers said, we got Joe Barry.
Get Coach Leonard a call, man. Get Coach Leonard a call.
All right. Aaron Rodgers on the Pat McAfee show today needs a break from all this, apparently. Is that where we're going? Is that what we're finding out here, Alex?
And that's why I think it's going to be important to get through this week and then, to take my, my isolation retreat and just to be able to contemplate all things, my future, and then make a decision that I feel like is best for me moving forward and in the highest interest of my happiness, and then move forward.
What is that?
It's 4 nights of complete darkness. It's 4 nights of complete darkness.
Does that mean he's going to the Raiders? They have dark uniforms?
It's 4 nights of complete darkness.
On a 4-night
4
ayahuasca
nights of
trip.
complete darkness. Why is he this way? Was that like from The Office where they're like, why are you this way?
I don't know.
Is that Packer fans Aaron Rodgers right now? Like, why are you this way?
Probably. I was talking to.
He's a complicated fella.
I was talking to Alex before the show, and I was just telling him, reflecting, trying to like think about myself, and I'm just like, man, I don't think I would ever under contract with another team like talk about going to another team like I'm an unrestricted free agent. Like this has been happening a lot, and I'm like, has nobody thought about that? Like, bro, even if you say like, oh, I don't want to be in Green Bay, like they could be like, all right, and like, we'll see you at OTAs. Ayahuasca.
But Chris, let me ask you this part of it. Obviously, it's time to go. Practice time in the facility. You're locked in, and you're gonna play for the guy.
sure.
Great player. But like in the offseason, you're on the Packers. There's got to be, especially those who aren't, and that group's getting smaller and smaller, especially if Randall Cobb's not brought back. If you're not Bakhtiari, Cobb, Tunyon, who else is in his inner circle?
It's 4 nights of complete darkness.
Strope, who else is in? Am I missing anyone in his inner circle? Is that kind of
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
the type crew?
Bakhtiari, Cobb, Tunyon, maybe.
And again, I'm not saying that the players don't like him or won't respect him,
Mhm.
but there's a text chain going on or something of like, dude, what's he talking
Yeah,
about?
there's
It's 4
definitely some
nights
groups-
of complete darkness.
There's definitely some group messages like, man, like y'all think we're gonna have him? Like, you think he's coming back? Like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm a free agent anyway. Like,
It's
I'll wait
4
till he
nights of
decide, or-
complete darkness.
So no, there's definitely that. But at the same time, like, I think what everybody in that locker room understands is like, yeah, man, this is a Hall of Fame quarterback. Like,
Mhm.
so if he comes, like, this is going to be nothing but great for us.
Without a doubt. I
Mhm.
just can Aaron have a thought that's not spoken to the world?
Yeah.
Like we didn't have to
Yeah,
know.
he's gonna do it for 4 nights.
It's 4 nights of complete darkness.
Does it even count, going back to Molly Brown's great take, America's favorite producer, of like Aaron Rodgers isn't what he says he is? Does this even count as some sort of great meditative disconnect from the world when you're telling everyone you're doing it?
Yeah, I
Can't you
don't
just
think
go, Aaron? Nobody, you could disappear. You're a hundreds of millions of dollars. You could disappear off the face of the earth and people would just assume you're hanging out in your mansion for 4 days.
or
I don't
you
know
could-
I don't know what Michael Jordan's up to right now.
Yeah.
If
You could just do it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I've always, my entire life, I've always hated, like, even to this day, I hate when people talk about like how hard they work or like this is what they're doing for themselves and this and that. And I'm just a firm believer that it'll show up when it's time for you to perform. It'll show up. bro.
to win the game.
And it will show up. But at least if you were doing that, you're trying to get notoriety. You're
Yeah.
trying, or maybe you got a brand you're trying to push,
Mhm.
something.
Something different. You're
Right.
not doing anything. You just want to me, it's coming off like you just want people talking about you, bro. Like what you're saying, you don't want people like in your business and people vilify you. But I'm like, if you want to actually like get away from that, just stop talking. Or you don't even have to stop talking, bro. Just like only talk when you actually have to. Like
You don't have to share. He's oversharing.
Yeah. We don't need to know some of these things.
Just do it, Aaron. Just go.
You are a quarterback. Your job, your occupation, you're an NFL quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. And I understand if you're taking your time and you want to decide if you're going to play with them or not.
Yeah.
But like that's all we need to know, to be honest.
And if he wants to share his thoughts on, I'm all fine with all that too. But now he's just giving us his itinerary for the week.
Yeah, like, bro, that's dangerous.
Right.
That's dangerous.
It's
You know
4
how
nights
crazy-
of complete
you know how
That's not
some people
crazy.
are?
So you're just telling folks you're just disappearing off the grid for 4 nights.
That's dangerous, bro. You better hope people don't know where you live. Nobody followed you home after Lambeau.
Did he say where he's doing this?
He just said in a forest or in like it's in another country, is my
Oh.
understanding. I did not catch where.
I hope he didn't share where. I hope he did not share
Yeah,
where.
I hope he didn't. Because
It's 4 nights of complete
I
darkness.
don't know. Stuff I think about, even when you like on social media, like, man, I'll never post my location until like after I'm gone for a day or two.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Well,
Because-
nobody cares about
Nobody
what
cares.
I'm doing. But if I'm on vacation, I post the photos when I get back.
Yeah.
I'm not telling people, look at me, I'm up
Or you gonna
north.
get robbed.
Right,
Somebody
exactly.
will rent up in your house.
Coffee and contemplation.
Coffee and contemplation for real. I got coffee going on right now. I got no time to contemplate. Maybe that's what Aaron Rodgers needs. He needs to borrow from Jim Hopper from the show Stranger Things, who famously in season 1 which say I need coffee and contemplation to start my morning.
Judgmental Jim.
It's a good show. It's entertaining. But more than that, coffee and contemplation, I think, is always maybe better than disappearing off. Well, not all of us are afforded the ability to disappear off the face of the earth for 4 days. But just do it next time, Aaron. Can you just do things and not? I don't need to know everything Aaron Rodgers
But to me, that's like the truth behind, like, I don't know, like meditation and all of that. Like, usually you do that when you need some time to truly escape. Like, I don't think you announce that. Maybe you tell your family or people that you're like talking to.
People
every
need to
day,
know.
like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm not gonna be answering for a few days. Like, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But like, I think it takes away from the strength of it by announcing it to the world for sure. Like, come on, man, just go ahead and handle your business.
Yeah, do what you want to do. What you should do is go to Iron Jock. It's about what's inside right now. So I just went to ironjock.com. The perfect gift for him or her. Use the code HEART20, valid through February 19th, 2023 for Valentine's Day. Minimum spend of $25, but you will get a discount of 20%. Use the code HEART20 at ironjock.com. Iron Jock, it's about what's inside. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Miss any of the show? Find full show podcasts free on Wisconsin On Demand and wherever you get your podcasts.
Gold medalist Matt Hamilton here, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about why I love Leinekugels. Along with me, it was born here in Wisconsin. One of my favorite beers. I like to finish my games with a nice Leinekugels Drink Wisconsinably lager. It goes down smooth, finishes crisp, flavor the moment, available everywhere great liquor and beer is sold. Must be 21 or older to enjoy. Drink Wisconsinably.
Will they find a home? Sponsored by Geico. Sarah wants a yard. My own little paradise. Brad, however, hates yard work.
The only thing I hate more than cutting the grass is paying someone to cut the grass.
Compromise is tough, but these two won't have to compromise when they bundle home and car insurance with Geico. It's easy, and they could save even more. In the end, Sarah and Brad found a great home with a yard. A very, very small yard.
Time to get it done. And I'm done.
Bundling without compromise at geico.com.
Every piece of land has a story. The Upshaw's right there is with a John Deere 1 Series tractor they call Penny. And this is Shaw.
Shaw stands for skilled hands at work.
When he's not cutting grass, he's cutting hair.
So every person is different from hair type to head shape. And I feel like it's the same way in a yard.
From front loader to backhoe, the Upshaws have the tools to DIY all day long. Run with us on a 1 Series tractor and start telling your story. Learn more at johndeere.com/radio.
Jim Rutledge here to tell you about X Golf Madison, and the most important thing that you need to know is that X Golf Madison is for everyone. I golf there. Whether you're a seasoned pro, a new golfer, or in between like me, X Golf Madison is going to be fun for you. They have a full bar, excellent service, great food, and the most advanced and accurate golf simulators in the world. You can play one of their 50 courses available, take lessons from a PGA pro, hit the driving range, or even join a league. Stop by their East Madison or Middleton location today, or visit them online at xgolfwisconsin.com.
Monday nights this football season, huddle up for the Great Dane Huddle.
No.
Not being in the playoffs. You got to figure out who's going to lead these players. Our coaching staff was a disgrace. What do you mean? Why? Disgrace. Are you kidding me? The quarterback was a disgrace.
The Great Dane Huddle with Alex Strauff and Rose Bowl champions Tarek Saleh and Derek Engler. Mondays at 6 on 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
Hey, Madison, it's Dan Andrews from Simon Chevrolet in Mount Horeb. By now, you know that you're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simon Chevrolet in Mount Horeb. But what is a better buying experience? It's a car buying experience that is custom to what you want and need. We can be your trusted expert, or we can be hands-off until you're ready to purchase. If you're in the market for a new or new-to-you Chevy truck or SUV, make the short drive to Simon Chevrolet in Mount Horeb and see the difference a better buying experience can make.
Purchase your tickets, grab some friends, and get to the Sylvia on Wednesday, February 15th for Andy North Trivia Night, presented by Exact Sciences. You will enjoy a fun and inspiring evening of trivia, music, food, and refreshments while helping to raise money for UW Carbone Cancer Center. This fun and inspiring event is hosted by Andy North, and in addition to trivia, the lineup includes a silent auction, celebrity appearances, and prizes. Doors open at 6 p.m. Visit AndyNorthAndFriends.com to buy your tickets. Past year's events have sold out quickly, so get your tickets today.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Ridgetop Exteriors.
What if I'm far from home? Oh, brother, I will hear you call. What if I lose it all? Oh, sister, I will help you out. Oh, if the sky comes falling down for you, there's nothing in this world I can do.
Brian Flores enters the NFC North as the Vikings defensive coordinator.
That's nasty.
Packers match that with Joe Barry. It's fine.
I mean,
Joe Barry's the great guard of defensive coordinators. It's fine.
I mean, it's tough. It's tough because, like, man, actually, one of I shouldn't share that. I know his son though. If you're out there watching Barry, what up?
What just happened?
I don't know. He had
I had an epiphany.
Inside thought
Yeah.
he shared outside,
Yeah.
but now it's awkward. 'cause
Unfortunately.
now it seems like something super nefarious.
I could tell y'all off air.
Even more nefarious now.
Yeah, even more nefarious. Why don't you just tell us on the air?
I don't know if I should share it.
What does it entail?
You know how to do your little button there, and you can share it with Alex there. This is Rutledge and Hamilton presented by Coors Light. Chris doesn't realize if he talks his normal voice, it'll be picked up on my mic. But this is Rutledge and Hamilton presented by Coors Light.
I'm confused why you can't
Rutledge,
share that.
Chris Orr, Alex Strofe with you.
What do you mean?
Anyways, so what have we decided yet?
What I was saying,
I don't understand why you couldn't share that.
Okay,
All
share.
right.
Go ahead and share.
I'll just go ahead and share it.
He's the producer. He has to take all the hits if we say something wrong.
I want to say it's Joe Barry's son. Yeah, Joe Barry's son actually works with Wisconsin football.
Oh,
it's actually crazy. Yeah,
I mean,
little fun.
I didn't know that. But
Little fun fact. But I mean, I don't think they play like horrible defense.
Who,
I
the
think
Packers?
Yeah, I don't think they play horrible defense.
We talked about this with basketball with the Badger team. The names on the Packers defense, this defense should be elite.
Yeah,
it's not.
I think, but they're also young at like some key spots.
I know, but so last year the season ended with the 49ers, in the playoffs, 49ers. And when it mattered, the 49ers just bled the Packers defense out down the field, kicked the field goal, won the game.
For sure.
With Jimmy Garoppolo with the half an arm because he was all beat up. But I mean, like that, they just ran it. They just said, we're just going to ram it down your throat and we're going to win this football game on your home field and defense can't stop it.
Yeah.
What happened in the last game of the year this year with the Lions? They just bled out that clock and said, we're just going to win this on your home field and tell you tough cookies.
That's true.
And so he's been bad, and it's been suspect enough for him to get fired, but he's also not that bad where you feel like you have to replace him. And that's where they sat. But my whole point was if Brian Flores is going to a team and Wilkes is going to a team and Vic Fangio is going to a team, I'm sorry, those look like major upgrades.
I don't think Vic won't come to the cold though, man. He
coached the Bears.
Yeah, but
not that long ago. Coached the head coach of the Broncos.
He's older now. He won't be in that sun.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him. I think Miami's one of the names I've heard out there for Vic Fangio.
Yeah.
We can ask
I saw that too.
Jason Wilde about some of this next. Before we get the break, though, the sun's out, which means golf is going to get closer. Is your game ready? Do you want to join a league? Do you want to hang out with some friends? Do you want to just have a good time? Go to X Golf in Madison or in Middleton to improve your golf game and be ready for when the golf season outside hits. This is Rutledge and Hamilton. What is with your hands back there, guy?
I don't know what just happened to our automation system. All right, we're back. I'm ready.
All right, now we can go to break. Jason Wilde on the other side. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. The mountains are blue, and we can prove it. Follow the show on Twitter at Jim and Matt. Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
There may be snow on the ground, but now is the time to get excited about enjoying the outdoors on luxury patio furniture. Let the trained staff at the Bruce Company help you bring your outdoor dreams to life. The Bruce Company, your outdoor living experts. The buzz continues around the Wisconsin football team and new head coach Luke Fickell. The Badgers announced the launch set for Saturday, April 22nd last week, which will be an open practice held at Camp Randall for all fans to attend for free. In the meantime, though, ESPN Radio's Ian Fitzsimmons of Freddie and Fitzsimmons told Badgers fans what to expect with Fickell last week on Wilde and Tausch.
That dude is a born winner. That man hates to lose a coin toss. I mean, he develops guys. He'll take a 2-star and turn him into a 5-star.
Lock in your prices at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin by February 28th and get 0% interest for up to 48 months. Visit PellaWI.com.
Where will your new Chevy take you this year? Anywhere. It's the perfect time of year to take your next adventure off-road in a powerful Chevy Silverado. Round up the whole gang for some family fun in a Chevy Equinox. Hey kids, let's go. Or take your night on the town by storm in a stylish Chevy Blazer. Make more memories and take on the road ahead. Wherever it leads you. Find new experiences, find new roads. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
Your friend could tell you to go to TLC Laser Eye Centers for LASIK. But when your eye doctor tells you to go to TLC Laser Eye Centers for LASIK, you book your consultation. TLC has performed over 2.3 million LASIK procedures nationally, and that includes treatment for over 10,000 doctors. LASIK takes minutes, with most patients back to normal activities the next day. So come see why TLC Laser Eye Centers is the doctor's choice for LASIK.
Right now, TLC is offering $1,000 off their Wavelight laser when treated in February. That's $500 off per eye. So call 888-TLC-2020 or visit SaveOnTLC.com. That's SaveOnTLC.com. The doctor's choice for LASIK. Must mention this promotion and be treated in February of 2023 to qualify. $1,000 off for both eyes on standard Wavelight price. $500 off for one eye. Cannot be combined with any other offers. Go to SaveOnTLC.com for details.
Looking for your next spot out with family or friends? Head to one of Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company's 4 locations in the Madison area. Whether you're on the east side, downtown, in Fitchburg, or at Hilldale, you're sure to enjoy one of Madison's favorite traditions. Head to GreatDanePub.com to find the location near you. Always local, always welcoming, and always committed to the craft. Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's home for craft beer and pub food since 1994.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Carbon World Health.
Not the shell.
3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Jason Wilde.
I will do my best to be as articulate as Matt was when I answer my question here about Alan Lazard.
This is Rutledge and Hamilton.
All right, boys. Take
right.
care. Be good.
With Jim Rutledge and Matt Hamilton. Presented by Coors Light.
Take your pictures down and check it out.
We are lucky to catch Jason Wilde before he makes his vacation, embarking on his sensory deprivation, 4 days of pitch black and
It's
darkness.
4 nights of complete darkness.
Jason Wilde. Aaron Rodgers continuing to tell us basically everything he does all the time. We apparently all need to know. And Jim Rutledge, Chris Orr with you. Jason, are you surprised with how much Aaron Rodgers shares about his plans regularly? Like, he could have just disappeared, told the people in his life they needed to know that he was doing this, and then not told anyone else. But instead, he felt like he had to go on national TV and tell everyone that he was going to go disappear off the face of the earth for 4 days.
Yeah, that was something, wasn't it?
Is it TMI? Like, we didn't need to know that. He could have just done it.
I appreciate his openness. It's going to be, I mean, I can tell you this. There'll be a story on ESPN.com and ESPNWisconsin.com about it. There'll be a story in the Wisconsin State Journal about it. Bill Huber from Sports Illustrated is writing about it. It'll be everywhere. And my question would be, what are people going to think of it? I just got done talking to Homer, and I don't want to get all emotional and verklempt again, so I'll spare you that. But I don't know how you listen to him and not wonder, does he really know what he's doing? Is he okay? I don't know. I don't. He's a lot different than the guy that obviously I've known for most of his career. I would think probably the last 3 years, a lot has seemed to change with him. And so, but if he feels like this is something he wants to share, I'm certainly not in a position to tell him no, he should have kept his mouth shut about it. But it is, I don't know how you listen to that and think, this guy's got it all together. It doesn't, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But if it makes sense to him, who am I to judge?
Hey, Jason, I got a question for you. This is Chris Orr. Don't you think it's a little counterintuitive? Like, don't you think he's sending a conflicting message by announcing that he's going to go meditate on his decision? It seems like he's been so pro, meditation and, taking all these, ingesting these different things, to help his mental health or whatever you call it. But isn't the point of meditation is just to go do it and focus on yourself internally and not announce this to the world?
Yeah, it's I don't understand. I don't know if he's proselytizing and trying to get more people to kind of follow his lead. I mean, he did this thing yesterday. I know Stroke listened to it. I could not bring myself to do it. So thank you for your service. But he wants people, I guess, to be into astrology too. Chris, you're exactly right. I don't know what his motivation is for oversharing, as maybe some of us would view this as. But again, the greater question for me is, and here's a guy who seemed in the past to have it all together. I wonder what the public perception of him continues to become. Like it from a purely practical standpoint. Statistically, he did not have a good year last year. For whatever reason, I personally believe that unfamiliarity with his young receivers, not having enough weapons, because this league is now all about stockpiling as many offensive weapons, even if you have a great quarterback, or especially if you have a great quarterback. And of course, his injury issues. I think those are the factors more than anything else. I don't think he dropped off significantly in terms of his talent. But coming off the season like he had, and then listening to some of the stuff he's talked about for the last year or so, and the COVID thing before that, and demanding, more of a say in his organization. If you are one of the teams considering trading for him, and certainly Jim has experienced as a Bears fan what it's like to be one of the have-nots at that position for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Does any of this stuff give you pause? When you kind of put it all together, does this increase the likelihood of, if you're the Jets or if you're the Raiders, of you wanting him on your team? Or do you have people that, and maybe I'm narrow-minded for thinking this, look at him and go, you know what? We're going to take our chances finding, a young, talented guy on our own. We don't want to wade into the pool that this guy is. I did find myself wondering that.
And talking with Jason Wilde, you can hear him with Tauscher, Wilde and Tausch across ESPN Wisconsin, weekdays 9 to noon here. And it's not apples to apples, but teams get desperate. The Raiders could be one of those teams. Maybe it's the Jets. Look in basketball at Kyrie Irving. Now, Aaron always shows up. Kyrie doesn't show up, makes him a bad teammate. But Kyrie, same sort of just disruptive off the court behavior that makes you question a lot of things about what's going on with him. It's not all bad, but for a teammate perspective for him, because he does good things for charity. But how do you wrap your brain around bringing that in? It's a good question, but Dallas just did it. They got desperate, gave up real assets, and said, we want to take a run at a title, so we'll take everything else that comes with Kyrie. And I think someone, if the Packers are willing, will say, we'll take all the baggage, and it's a lot of it, with Aaron Rodgers too.
I also think the thing is that
Go ahead, Jason.
No, let Chris finish. I didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry, buddy.
Well, no, you're good. I was also saying that I just don't think you can bring that to another team. Like I don't think you can go to Vegas as Aaron Rodgers and say you want all this input on the roster. You can't go there and start bad mouthing the roster because at that point you're gonna lose your team. Even though you're an elite quarterback, you got all the talent in the world. If you go to Vegas and you only praise Devontae and you say I don't know, they might have to give up Hunter Renfrow or Darren Waller in order to get them, but let's say they're still there and you're bad mouthing them or even some other guys on the roster. Like to me, you lose the fabric of that team. So I don't know if another team wants to get that. And also, like, I don't know. To me, it just seems like he's trying to capture what Tom Brady had. But the thing is, everybody was clamoring over Tom when he was making his decision because you knew you had a good chance of winning the Super Bowl. I don't think anybody else is necessarily feeling like that because it's not necessarily automatic if you just add Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I think you're right about the Brady thing. Like the way Rodgers talked during the Pebble Beach Pro-Am, he was clearly reveling in the idea that all of these teams' fans were clamoring for him, right? He was really enjoying it. He has said multiple times that he's never been a free agent before, so he doesn't know what that's like. And today, he had to clarify with McAfee at the very beginning of his appearance that he's not a free agent, which I think the way he behaved at the Pebble Beach Pro-Am, he talked like he was a free agent, like he was being recruited by all these fan bases, and he's not. The Packers would have to trade him, and so I thought that was. I think that's a good point. I do think he likes that part of the kind of allure of teams being fawning over themselves, wanting him. On the flip side, the question that I ask is, and I, being an old guy now, and having started covering the team when I was 24 in 1996, is I was there for all the great moments of Favre, 2 of his 3 consecutive MVP seasons, some of his greatest victories, some of his gut-wrenching defeats. But I was also there toward the end of his tenure where there was a clear disconnect between him and many of his teammates, especially his younger teammates who had connected with Rodgers on a very, hey, we're the same age, we have the same interests, etc. I would be curious if, and they would none of them who would say something negative would ever say it publicly. But I would be curious to see how many of his teammates either see this or have family. Like they're not sitting like I just spent 45 minutes watching this lunacy on YouTube, but they have family that probably see this or see it on social media and alert them to it. I wonder if young players, especially ones that feel a connection to Jordan Love, see this as just another example of how I can't relate to this guy. So if he comes back, how relatable is he to the young players? We saw, questions about how he treated the young receivers and everything else during the course of the season. I just wonder, while he's oversharing, to kind of use Jim's view, I do wonder how that plays in the Packers locker room, theoretically. Obviously, none of them are actually in the locker room right now, but to the other players on this roster, I would love to get them to speak honestly about, and maybe it doesn't bother them at all. Maybe I'm completely misdiagnosing it, but Jordan Love, in my experience, and I've had some great conversations with him, he seems like a very normal dude. So did Aaron Rodgers for most of my time covering him. But now he doesn't seem that same way. And I just find myself wondering what his teammates would think.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I think when you think about that, I think it's split into like 3 separate categories. I think you got the vets that were there with Aaron Rodgers, and then you also have the vets that decided to come that might be on the brink of retirement or whatever the case is. But I think you also have a long line of a lot of draft picks, mainly your 1 through 4 draft picks that have been there the last few years, and even some younger guys that came after their first contracts. You make the decision sometimes to go to these teams because of the elite quarterback, and you want that opportunity to play in the Super Bowl. That's why Cincinnati was able to have some of the offseasons that they've had, because people believe in Joe Burrow and where he can take them. That's why Kansas City's attractive, all these different locations. And no, I would definitely think that there's some type of turmoil, because if I made the decision to come here, because of you, Aaron Rodgers, and what you can bring, and now you're talking like you don't know if you're going to be with this team, even though you're under contract, the same amount of time that I am. It definitely rubs people. It's got to be rubbing people the wrong way. I can't see how I wouldn't, to be honest. I don't see how you can see him doing all of these things and feel like, man, I can't wait to be a Green Bay Packer for the 2023 football season, because it's not what you signed up for anymore. So I definitely think that's a good point.
Yeah, I'll be curious. And again, so he says he's going to go on this darkness retreat for 4 days of sensory deprivation. And then after that's over, he feels like when he comes out on the other side, he'll be ready to make a decision. I say those words, and I can't fathom that I just said them. Like, I would have never thought that would be how I would describe his process, that this is what he's going to do as he goes through the coming week or however long it's going to be. I mean, just stop and think for a second about what we're talking about here. Like that he's going to go to some sort of house and sit in darkness for 4 days. Like, have you ever heard anything like that before from a mainstream, let's be honest, superstar athlete?
Never.
Maybe that means he's coming back to Wisconsin. It sounds like February here.
That's what he keeps
Maybe
doing.
he'll be a Packer. He's just gonna.
You've had that since the start of this segment.
Yeah, he has, no doubt.
Groundhog's Day, Pensacola Rogers Day.
I got you, babe. Jason, real quick, I'm curious what you make of these betting odds that came out from DraftKings this morning. The Raiders are listed as the minus 450 favorite to have Aaron Rodgers as their quarterback next year, minus 450. So you have to bet $450 to win 100. The Jets are plus 350, so you bet 100 to win 350. The Packers are plus 600. You bet $100 to win $600. They're the third most likely team to have Rodgers, even though they have him under contract. What do you make of those odds from DraftKings?
So I don't know a whole lot about betting. I was talking about this with Scalzo and Brust yesterday. This strikes me. I've always seen about all the different things about which coach is going to get fired first and all this other stuff. Like, the guys in the desert seem to really know their stuff when it comes to setting betting lines for games, right? Like, it's really hard. It's, at least for me, as I look at it from an untrained eye, how good they are at it and how difficult they make it to win money on bets. This stuff, it seems to me like a sucker play. Like, they don't have any more insight. There's no algorithm that they can punch into a computer and have a better idea of who's going to win a certain game. It strikes me as a way that they can get suckers to bet money and then they can take their money, because the idea of the Raiders now suddenly being the favorite because Rodgers and Adams talked about it, it just doesn't strike me as a bettable thing. But you're right. It has definitely moved the needle. A lot of people are paying. I mean, think about what happened. What was it, 2 weeks ago that we were talking about this, when the Jets hired Nathaniel Hackett?
Yeah.
Right? Their odds moved. Now their odds are much, much worse than they were then. And the Packers, I guess I can see why they're becoming more of a long shot as I try to figure out what the heck this guy is talking about. But again, I don't know. You can wager as you wish, young Alex, but this seems to me like a way to get people to part people from their money and be able to pay the lighting bill.
So translation is, you've not heard anything inside the building that makes you think the Packers have made a decision of what they want to do in 23.
I have not, and I did reach out to Goody after someone accused Tausch and I of being paid by him. He claimed that he can't afford me, which I can assure you he can. But I also, I did reach out to Devontae because he's been on our show before, and I have a great relationship with him. I haven't talked to him in a while, but I would like to have him on, and maybe he can say something that'll move the odds or give us some insider trading information that even I'll put down a bet if it comes to it.
There you go. Jason, great insight. We took you maybe a little extra time, so we appreciate it.
No, I'm happy to do it, guys. All right, take care. Be good.
That's Jason Wilde. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
Exteriors, just pick up the phone and let us leave a legacy on your home.
This is Barry Alvarez.
Hey, Madison. Pat Richter here. For great coverage of your Wisconsin Badgers, stay tuned to 100.5 ESPN.
WTLX Monona, ESPN Madison.
On Wisconsin.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN Madison studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Yeah, it is. I'm Alex Strope, your Sports Center update brought to you by the Green and Gold Fix podcast. Home to the best Packers conversation from across ESPN Wisconsin. Subscribe, rate, and review the Green and Gold Fix podcast on Apple, Spotify, Wisconsin On Demand, and wherever you get your podcasts. Well, Aaron Rodgers appeared today on the Pat McAfee show, as he does each and every Tuesday, and said, a decision is coming. It's just going to come when he does this.
And that's why I think it's going to be important to get through this week, and then to take my my isolation retreat, and just to be able to contemplate all things my future, and then make a decision that I feel like is best for me moving forward.
You, like me, might be wondering what exactly an isolation retreat is. Here's Rodgers on that.
It's 4 nights of complete darkness.
Interesting. Continued coverage on all things green and gold, including a deep dive into an isolation retreat by Rob Domofsky over at ESPNWisconsin.com. A girls basketball showdown tonight on Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania, Oregon. Visits Edgewood. Coverage starts at 7 o'clock right here on 100.5 ESPN. Rutledge and Hamilton continues right now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or visit metrokiaofmadison.com.
You got the show.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
This is Rutledge and Hamilton with Jim Rutledge and Matt Hamilton, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN.
Because obviously a couple off seasons ago, you decided to drink that tea.
That's right.
In the middle of a jungle called ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca. Ayahuasca.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN Madison studio with Matt Hamilton, here's Jim Rutledge.
Instead of ayahuasca, I recommend anyone just go to Ruth's, Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. Get yourself an old fashioned. Or just get something neat. Get yourself a Coors Light 5 Trail. Neat. Enjoy that. Just something. Can we just be a little normal? Could Aaron Rodgers be more out of touch with the normal Wisconsin sports fan?
It's 4 nights of complete darkness.
No, I mean, to be honest, that's all. February's like 28 nights, or January's 31 nights in complete darkness. But outside of that, you don't have to go anywhere there for that, Aaron. You could just crack open a Coors Light or a 5 Trail, or go over to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. It's dark all the time. Although I will say it is nice. It's 3 o'clock. It doesn't look like the apocalypse is upon us. You know how it does in January. You were getting on me, Alex Strofe. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Chris Orr with you, filling in for Matt Hamilton. You and Matt were getting on me a little bit Thursday, so I was a little negative.
You always are.
Well, maybe a little extra. But I think I was just maxed out on Wisconsin winter. It always happens this time of year. It's
felt like
just
Green Bay to me.
Yeah, and that kind of stinks. Like it's dark all the time. With like 8 days of sun in January, it's dark at like 4:15.
It's getting bright out.
That's what I'm saying.
Later now,
but I'm still. It's usually mid-February. I'm fully out of the funk. It's like from like the end of January to mid-February. I'm like, we're just in it now.
Yeah,
there's no end in sight, and we're just in the heart of it. But mid-February, it's like, all right, March is there. So we probably have days most of the time hanging near the 30s. The sun's out more. I can handle that. It's just that little window there. I mean, but I guess Aaron Rodgers is sneaking that out. That doesn't seem healthy, honestly. Like 4 days of darkness sounds like what they do to prisoners when they do things bad, right? Send you to the hole.
No way he means the entire day.
I hope not.
No way he means the entire day. If he just means like, I don't know, I guess maybe like from 4 up until when he goes to sleep, I think that might be pretty good for you, to be honest. Get away from all the lights that you normally stare at all day. But if it's 4 days, he's going to lose his mind.
Yeah. I mean,
no way.
They do that in prison to punish you. I mean, I got up to Sand Valley over the weekend, and my wife and I went up there, and when you're not at your house, there's no chores to do. The kids were back at home, so you just kind of hang out.
Yeah.
And you can watch TV, read a book, anything you want to do. You just chill, have some Coors Light, just hang out.
Yeah.
And that is, you do need that reset every once in a while. Absolutely. But you also just don't have to tell everyone what you're doing all the time. So it's
4 nights of complete darkness.
So that's a Rip and Rona chimed in 844-770-3776. So it's only nights then. But again,
It's gotta be.
So he's camping, right?
Yeah, I guess. Or he's just going in like some blackout room.
No, so he is going in a room. I believe is my understanding.
Why can't he just go camping?
With no
then?
technology, and I don't even think he's like bringing a book. It's supposed to represent DMT, so there may be hallucinations involved, but he will not be taking any drugs. At least what he said.
Why does he want to hallucinate?
He thinks it's good for his brain.
But we're all on the same page that I believe this is a punishment for folks in prison where they lock you away in a room.
We're all on the same page that I have zero interest in this. Yes,
but I mean, like, the question is
in participating. That
is this health? Like, I feel like taking ayahuasca is healthier than this. Like, if he's locking himself in a room for how many hours?
4 days.
I think it's
It
healthy
said
if it's
4
just
nights
night.
of complete darkness.
If it's just night, it's
96. Is that
Brett? No, Claire chimes in. Is Rogers Dracula?
Where was Dracula from?
Transylvania.
Which is what, Pennsylvania?
Yeah, Pennsylvania.
Or is that a country?
Ah, man.
Okay.
It's a country. It's not Pennsylvania.
In my defense, you didn't know the answer either.
I know it's a country. I'm just trying to tell you. I love Transylvania. It's not around anymore. In Romania.
Okay.
But it was, I believe, a country at one point. Now it's just part of Romania.
There's no football team in Romania. I was trying to really read in between the lines there.
I see what you're doing.
Thank you, Chris.
Is Greg Roman the offensive coordinator? Where is he an offensive coordinator? He was with Baltimore. Did he end up on a staff? Please be the Raiders.
Nobody right now, unfortunately. Nobody.
Bill Romanowski played for the Raiders. Aaron Rodgers going to the Raiders. Done. Break it.
I mean, yeah. We're on to something.
The Raiders. He's coming back to Green Bay.
This is
unless the Packers don't want him.
Right. That's the thing. He's picking up vibes, and this is why he's doing this, that the Packers don't want him. I don't think he wants to be in a position where saying he's not going to play for the Packers.
Yeah.
I think
Take that for data.
But I think there's want him and want him the way that he wants to be wanted are two different things. Want him the way he wants to be wanted is go get me DeAndre Hopkins, go do whatever. I don't care about your draft picks. I don't care about your plans for the future. Go do it. And if you don't do that, then you don't really want me. Which I actually don't begrudge Aaron for this. I begrudge how it's happening.
Yeah.
That's the problem. I mean, like, you can stand.
Yeah,
you can stand and love Aaron Rodgers as much as you want, and that group's getting smaller and smaller. But the way he is handling this is absolutely horrendous. He could have just done this so much more low key.
Yeah.
I'll go back to the GOAT. Brady just left New England. He just up and left.
Yep.
Like Matt Damon style in Good Will Hunting. They woke up one day, Tom was in Tampa.
Yep.
And then Gronk followed him down there. You'd rather that, right, Alex? If you could do this all over again, that you just rather Aaron Rodgers zips it, wrote out his contract, and then just walked away and went somewhere else. Than this constant agony.
See, but I fall on that spectrum where you just alluded to. There's very few people left. Like, I kind of like it. Like, I don't necessarily like what he's saying.
But he could just.
I kind of like as a fan of sports.
As a
I'd
media guy,
I'd rather it be dramatic than quiet.
But you're also, you
Quietness
need the
adds more
content.
drama.
No, I do, but that's not why I'm saying that. I just like why be boring?
But the quietness adds more depth.
But if he's actually going to leave, I want him to leave in a blaze of glory. I just think it's fun.
But he could leave in a blaze of glory at the end. Yeah. This is not. This is just constant consternation.
I know. I don't know. It's entertaining.
It's
kind of like a real life soap opera. I just
pathetic.
kind of enjoy it.
The man is desperate for attention.
The days of our lives, man.
Drew Madison chimes in. Dracula based off the real life person known as Vlad the Impaler. I didn't know that. It's actually you can
Vlad
find
the
some.
Impaler.
I didn't know that.
That's a badass name.
He was a badass dude.
Stabbing people.
Impaling them. Like he would like I believe like he had like sticks in the ground and like you'd be like impaled on them.
Oh wow.
So yeah, no, he's not like honestly. Go watch the History Channel. It's really gruesome but interesting.
I'm not gonna watch the History Channel. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
American Pickers is on there. That's a good
I
show.
actually used to like that.
Yeah,
show. That's still
I
going.
watch Moonshiners. That's on Discovery. Though.
Is Pawn Stars still on there?
That show jumped the shark. It's the same show over and over again.
Adult film stars, Matt Hamilton.
At some point, like I used to watch Bar Rescue, same thing. It's okay,
John Taffer,
yeah, but it's like all right, this is the same episode over and over again.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it's which is fine. I can get through a year or two of it, but then it's like I'm out.
Yeah,
Counting Cars was another one I believe that was on the History Channel where they updated cars.
Sure,
same thing. This is great. And I was like, all right.
I've watched 4 hours of this and it's been the same thing 8 times.
I get it. This car. Here's what's gonna happen. This car is gonna be really cool. You want to fix it up. Your friend's going to tell you it's too expensive to fill it up, not fix it up, not enough profit. Then there's going to be some sort of issue, and then in the end, you'll sell it and you'll make money, and everyone's happy. I just wish they'd leave the drama out of it. Like nobody's buying any of it, guys. Whether it's American Pickers or Counting Cars or any of it, they try to manufacture this drama, even with like the remodeling shows. Nobody's buying any of it anymore. Can we just see the end product? I don't need the drama. Just like I don't need the drama from Aaron Rodgers.
Do you like the show Shark Tank?
I've never watched that show outside of when our friend David Sharpman was on.
Really?
It's literally the only time I ever turned on. I only watched his segment too.
Love that show. It's a great show. A lot of drama in that one too.
But again, it's all manufactured.
I don't know that it is in that one.
We can bring David back on.
Yeah, we could ask him about that. I don't think they go in knowing they're going to make a deal.
No, that part is real. But I mean, they create other sorts of drama. This is Rutledge and Hamilton. We're going to have some drama throwing stones. Who is the #1 jersey sold in the state of Wisconsin? We will find that out next on Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Miss any of the show? Find full show podcasts free on Wisconsin On Demand and wherever you get your podcasts.
To talk about his experience with Ridgetop Exteriors, here's Madison area customer Tom.
When our family needed a new roof, windows, and doors, we wanted to go with a company that we could trust. The team at Ridgetop Exteriors far exceeded our expectations. They communicated with us every step of the way and provided affordable financing options that fit our budget.
Ridgetop Larry here. Thanks for choosing Ridgetop Exteriors for your home's next project. Go to ridgetopexteriors.com for a free estimate.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm Vice President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Hey, Matt Hamilton here. Whether I'm dropping putts on the golf course or I'm sweeping stones on the ice, Iron Jock is my go-to apparel. Their state-of-the-art silver ion technology is guaranteed to keep you feeling fresh and provide odor-fighting protection for as long as you own it. Iron Jock gear eliminates 99% of odor-causing bacteria with their performance apparel that was designed from the inside out. Visit ironjock.com to get your Iron Jock apparel or visit any local Fleet Farm dealer today. Iron Jock, it's what's inside that matters.
North and South Seafood and Smokehouse is the official barbecue and seafood and smokehouse of Rutledge and Hamilton. Make sure to listen every Wednesday for your chance to win a $50 gift card to North and South Seafood and Smokehouse in Madison, Verona, and DeForest. North and South Seafood and Smokehouse.
Wisconsin is as hard-working of a place as you'll ever find. There's a sense of pride, community, and work ethic that's second to none. People here are tough,
but even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. At Gruber Law Offices, we won't stop fighting for you and your family. We've been here and will continue to be here for as long as you need us. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
I can't wait till Kansas City and Philly clash. It's going to be awesome, man.
Let's go. The NFL playoffs.
Jalen Hurts, he's definitely not healthy, and that is a story going into the Super Bowl.
Kansas City better be ready to put points on the board to try to take away some of this physicalness.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. Quite honestly, this one's going to be, an all-time game, man.
Right now. Continuing in-depth coverage. It all begins each morning at 6 Eastern with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, and continues all day on ESPN Radio.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Ho Chunk Gaming Madison.
A scrub is a guy that thinks he's fly and is also known as a buster. Always talking about what he wants and just sits on his broke ass. So, no, I don't want your number, no. I don't want to give you mine, and no, I don't want to meet you nowhere, no.
I wanted to make a Badger basketball joke here, but I won't. I don't.
You're a hater.
I'm just spitting facts that this team is scrubbalicious right now. Hopefully they turn it around.
Playoffs?
No.
Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me?
But hopefully,
Playoffs?
But hopefully they turn it around.
Judgmental Jim.
I hope they get better.
Judgmental Jim.
We don't even have to say the player's name. I don't know why I'm getting soft for my old age, but there's a player on this team that scored 3 points in the last 2 weeks. Is that all right?
Yeah, you'd be talking about Jordan Davis.
Okay, you can do it. You're younger now. 3 points. 3 points.
Yeah, he scored only 3 points since the last Northwestern.
It's like in Ferris Bueller, 9 times. 3 points.
I believe that was January 15th, by the way.
Chris, I feel like if we ran you out there, you'd accidentally get 3 points somehow.
Yeah.
How many minutes is he getting? Now, that's
Same
the
as
question.
Jordan.
Play defense.
Well, Jordan's have wavered quite a bit.
How many minutes do I have?
Well, he only played 6 against Ohio State. He played 14 on Sunday against Northwestern.
Oh, you give me 14? You give me 20 minutes in 2 games?
You get 0 points, so
I'm probably getting 4.
Oh.
Take it to the basket, get fouled.
I'm getting 2 layups. I'm getting in there. And I'm fouling out. I'm fouling out. I'm going to foul out by the time my time's up anyway.
Did you play basketball ever?
Yeah, fouled out every game.
That makes sense.
You
like hitting people.
I'm going to
That
tell you
makes
why.
sense.
Because so when I first started playing basketball, I'm just playing with my brothers. And it's like, we didn't call like soft fouls. Like we all played football. So if I shot the
Can you
ball
imagine?
and you just touched my arm, like it's not a foul.
It's an absurd game with 3 NFL players.
This foul is real.
3 NFL linebackers playing basketball.
God, the only
We're
guy
calling this if it's real.
the only guy I know that could hang in that would be Tarek. Would also I feel like
Tarek Sala.
Tarek Sala would
That'd
be
be
in this
fun.
him with the Orr brothers playing would
Man,
be
y'all
That
have
is
to
a visual.
see. I have to get back to the stadium. And
no
take a
points
picture of-
scored.
I gotta get back to the stadium and take a picture of this picture of Tarek. There's a picture of him in our linebacker meeting room because we have like there's a picture of every like All-American up there, and him and I know I'm gonna mess up this other guy's name, Derek Tatak or something like Daryl Tatak. They look like killers in their like pictures, and everybody like I played with, they're just up there like smiling like. These guys are like they went to war. I'm like, man, what's going on?
Way to go, Stroop.
But and you talk probably have it in common because Tarek definitely gives off the vibe of like maximize every inch of athleticism he had. So I think he kind of you still hear players talk about it. I think he just had to lock into like I'm going to like I gotta lock in and be a psychopath on the football field.
Yeah, man, you gotta transform, man. One way or another, you gotta transform. Some people transform into like an entertainer though. Like I think
Prime time, Deion Sanders.
Yeah, like Prime definitely has some of that into him. I don't know necessarily. Well, yeah, because he wasn't hitting nobody, so he was out there like, yeah, I'm better than you, and I'm gonna do something flashy. Like
if you told me Deion Sanders didn't tackle anyone for the last 5 years in the league, I'd be like, that seems about right.
he says it. He's like, you don't have me out there to tackle, which like it might sound crazy, but like as a like backer or whatever, I don't you don't necessarily mind that at all. Well, you don't mind that. Like if I have a corner on my team and he doesn't want to tackle, that's cool. That's not your job. Your job is to take away the number one receiver. I should be good at we in the front 7 or 8 if you add a safety in there, we should be good enough to stop the run without you.
I miss the days of Dion. There's nobody in the league that's like Dion right now.
I miss the days. I'm gonna tell you what I miss. I was watching the Bullies of Baltimore 30 for 30.
Oh, I gotta watch this. It's on my list.
Man, you'll love it. I miss because that's the football like I grew up on. That's the football. That's the way like my dad taught me to play football. I miss the authentic and realness of football. I miss the truth behind like, hey man, like we are friends and I hate you for these 4 quarters.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to actually hit you as hard as I can. I am actually laying this on the line, whatever it is. I miss the real rivalries like in the NFL, like Eddie George and Ray Lewis truly not liking each other. Like I would love it if Roquan Smith and Derrick Henry just hated each other. They could have been cool off the field, but if it was on the field, and you respect those guys, like for sure. If it's on the field and it's like, hey man, like I'm trying to embarrass you out here. I want to make you quit and suffer. Like I miss that. Oh, I miss that.
Well, I mean, you had some more like mutual respect stuff because I know Rodgers and Urlacher, those guys would get after it, and they would. Yours times you'd see them like laughing, where because they're calling audibles, and then Urlacher would audible off of Aaron, and that stuff was fun. Or one of my favorite things, I like when players talk. For an example, Jerry Alexander, like I have no problem. You're making a play, talk. Now there's a line. Douglas wasn't quite the player, had some late hits, or Quay Walker and his. You got to keep it. You got to keep it in check.
Yeah, you can't.
And Jair, for the most part, is kind of locked in, and I think that stuff is fun to me. I enjoy that. One of my favorite clips you see in like NFL films is Cam Newton. Clay Matthews calls something out, and Cam Newton's like, "Oh, you watched some film. Watch this," and he scores on him. I mean, that stuff is great. But or even Mike McDaniel telling Justin Fields, "Stop it," as Justin is running all over the Dolphins this year. When Justin's running off the sidelines with the Dolphins, McDaniel turns to him and says, "Stop it."
Yeah, it's still there. I will say this: it's definitely still there. Honestly, if there's still the market for it, I don't know, because people try to be like careful and stuff now, but people should mic up the special teams guys.
Oh, I bet.
Like you need to mic up. You need to mic up people on punt and punt return. I'm not talking about the punter or the PP.
Yeah,
mic up the guards and the tackles,
or the guys getting paid $100 or a couple $100,000 to just throw their bodies all over the place.
That is the real war, because whoever you line up against, if you're at guard on punt, he's gonna be playing guard on their punt, and you're out there on punt return right over him. If you're the R4 on kickoff, he's the guard on kickoff return. When you're on kickoff return, you're the guard and he's the R4. So you see them all day. Those are the best. Those are the best clips to get mic'd up.
But I do love it, and I hope it's not the same, but like the Burrow and Chiefs and Mahomes. I love that right now. Where Mahomes is walking off, says, "We don't have any cigars, but we'll find a way to celebrate."
Love it.
Like I love that shot. I love all of it. Take your shots. Talk your trash. Who is Jair? The swaggiest player on the Packers?
Yeah, no doubt.
Was it Devondre otherwise?
Aaron Jones.
Yeah. But like Aaron seems more wholesome in it. Jair's got like an edge to it.
Oh, for sure.
So maybe that's my preference there. Like, I don't want a wholesome in the NFL. Like,
who's like the last Dion like guy? Was it Richard Sherman?
Jalen Ramsey is a name that Drew and Madison chimed in.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He doesn't.
I
always
was
back
definitely
it up though. I feel like Dion.
But Dion is it was the picks. It was the scoring touchdowns. It just doesn't seem to happen anymore.
That's fair.
Yeah, Ramsey's different. They're like, you can compare them just because I guess they both talk and celebrate and are real loud and big with their emotions, but they're different players. Like Jalen Ramsey. No, I don't want to say that. He like he'll tackle.
I like that he just talks himself into like a hole, and then he's like, "Well, I'm gonna go ahead and back."
He's a physical player. Like he does. I'm not gonna say he does more than Dion, but like they do different things. Like Dion was about you're not gonna throw to his side because you don't want to give up 7 points. Like now, if you're not throwing to Jalen Ramsey's side, you're just not throwing because you don't think your guy's open. You're not necessarily scared for the pick or anything like that. But
all right, most pick six in NFL history. There are 2 Packers on this list. 844-770-3776 if you want to chime in. Neither spent their whole time with the Packers, but 844-770-3776.
Woodson?
Yep.
How far down the line is Night Train Lane?
Nice. That's a haul.
Yeah.
That is a swim
did you
deep.
pull that from?
He's an all-time great. Night Train Lane.
He's the man. He was the man.
Man.
But
Why do you say that so confidently? I'm sure he was, but you're saying like, oh yeah, I remember him playing.
He's the
well, I
reason for the
don't, but
pick.
I certainly know of him. So that means he was very good.
I don't see him on the
Well,
list.
he's the one
but-
that got people to be like, all right, man, like I can just intercept the ball.
So Rod Woodson, number 1. Charles Woodson, 2. Darren Sharper, number 3. Aqib Talib.
Dallas, Texas.
Williams, Aeneas Williams, then Deion Sanders. Charles Tillman on this list. Charles Tillman, I'll just say this. If Leroy Butler's in the Hall of Fame, Charles Tillman should be in the Hall of Fame.
Charles Tillman should definitely be in the Hall of Fame.
Peanut Punch.
Yeah, he should
Good
definitely be in the Hall of Fame.
Eight pick six plus the Peanut Punch.
He revolutionized football.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
For
a
sure.
thing now.
Yeah.
Like, you just teach the Peanut Punch.
You teach, everybody teaches that. And you're getting they're on you if you're not doing it every play in practice. Every single play.
Make sure to get out to X Golf in Madison or in Middleton, whether you want to join a league, hang out with some friends, work on your swing, teach your kids how to play, improve your own game. Whatever the reason is, there's always a good reason to go out to X Golf in Madison or in Middleton. This is Rutledge and Hamilton. We're gonna throw some stones next on Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. The mountains are blue, and we can prove it. Follow the show on Twitter at Jim and Matt.
Legacy Exteriors. Just pick up the phone and let us leave a legacy on your home. Roofing, windows, gutters, siding, and decks. Can Legacy do it? You bet. Better prices, better warranties. Legacy always makes it easy. Go to legacy-exteriors.com. Legacy Exteriors. Just pick up the phone and let us leave a legacy on your home.
Clinical trials are essential to advancing medications, vaccines, and devices. LabCorp has been conducting clinical trials for over 40 years and has helped bring many of the medications we use today to market. You may be compensated up to $19,250 for time and participation in trials. At LabCorp, your safety is the #1 priority. Learn more about how you can help advance the future of medicine at LabCorpClinicalTrials.com. That's LabCorpClinicalTrials.com.
Hi, I'm Medicine Money Guy, Christian Finfrock with Retirement Income Strategies. And what sets us apart is we're an independent, family-run office. We help clients like you understand the financial world and build a portfolio that's in your best interest. To learn more, go to MadisonMoneyGuy.com.
The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
Poteet open for 3 again. Nothing but net for Trey Poteet, who's got 14 points in this first half and gives Verona the lead back with 7:34 to play.
You can't stop him. You can only hope to contain him, right? Jeez, what a night from Poteet.
Zimbrick Honda's Prep Mania is also brought to you by UW Credit Union, Stoughton Trailers, Nations Lending, and the Great Dane. Breaking news on ESPN Madison is presented by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or visit metrokiaofmadison.com.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by X Golf in Madison and Middleton.
You're not on your own. Oh, she said, all you do. Cheer up, baby. You're not on your own. Sinking like a stone.
We delayed it a whole segment, but we got talking about some old school football. So, every once in a while, we're just going to do what we want to do. Alex Stroh.
Yeah.
Chris Orr, Jim Rutledge with you.
Orr.
We are live from the Spark Building. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Now we are going to throw some stones.
The guys live in glass houses, but that's never stopped them before.
I think he's a bum. I think he's an absolute bum.
It's time to throw some stones.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
On Rutledge and Hamilton, brought to you by Metro Kia Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
It is time to throw some stones on Rutledge and Hamilton. Each and every day, I scour the interwebs to figure out what the heck has happened in the last 24. I've got questions. Jim and Chris have answers. I'll score them throughout. And at the end, we'll crown a winner, assuming we don't get a call from Nate Madison today about ayahuasca, or however Chris says it. How do you say that word again?
Ayahuasca. Ayahuasca.
I love the way you say it. All right, let's start with my former employer. Lids has released their 2022 most bought jerseys by state in the NFL. Now, some states which don't have Lids locations are not included on the map, such as Wyoming and Idaho. But Wisconsin is, including the Lids in Green Bay, in which I worked hard for 3.5 years.
God, I can't imagine. How old were you?
I started there when I was 16, and then I worked through, like, when I would come home my freshman year of college.
I get so bored with jobs when I was younger. I just switched. Like, I worked at restaurants. I would just switch restaurants. Every once in a
I
while.
also worked at newspapers and stuff, like covering high school
I didn't have
sports.
real jobs growing up.
You played football.
Yeah, I played.
Well, you grew up in Texas. so
Yeah,
it
I
makes a lot
played
of
all
sense.
these sports, but then like I would just like work concession stands and like get the cash.
How many bags of Skittles did you steal from concession stands?
Not too many Skittles, man. I'm not
You were
gonna lie to you.
Snickers
I used to
guy.
be back there eating. Yeah, I was taking some Snickers.
Jim, you missed on Friday. Chris told us a story about
yeah.
how when he would play, and my understanding is you still do this.
Yeah.
He puts a mini fun-size Snickers in his sock while he plays.
Yeah.
That's what was it? Who was the punter for Minnesota Vikings? Did the same thing.
That's absurd.
Oh, I didn't get it from him. I got it from Daryl Green. He vividly remembered watching. It's when we like first truly found out like my dad played in the NFL because he wouldn't talk to us about his playing days or anything.
Mitch
even though
Berger was the guy. He was the Snickers kicker for like from the Vikings. He was he had
That's
he
real?
kept
It
he
was
kept
Snickers?
and he kept Snickers
Wow.
like in his shoe or in his foot, like or in his sock or whatever. Yeah.
I got
That is-
mine from Daryl Green.
That is nuts.
He put this
And
Tootsie
chocolate.
Roll in his sock and said it made him run faster.
And nougat.
And I don't like Tootsie Rolls.
Crazy.
Hate Tootsie Rolls. So I put Snickers in mine.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So weird. Anyway, Lids released their list of the most sold jerseys by state, and the Wisconsin King is Justin Fields. Sold the
Disappointed
most
in the
jerseys.
fans.
I just picture like superhero movies. This your king? It's Justin Fields stands over Aaron Rodgers.
Jim, do you believe this survey that Justin Fields sold the most jerseys in Wisconsin?
That's not a hard stretch. There's a lot of Wisconsin. There's a lot of Bears fans in Wisconsin, especially Southern Wisconsin. A lot of kids they root for the player that they like to watch. A lot of consternation down in Chicago was like you'd ask the young players in Chicago, young quarterbacks, even those who are people of color, like who's your favorite quarterback, and they would say, "Oh, Aaron Rodgers," even though they're playing, they just didn't identify with those Bears quarterbacks. They weren't any good.
Yeah.
And now that you have a player like that, I'm sure there's young quarterbacks and football players in the state of Wisconsin who are far more agnostic about teams and more about players. But then, like Aaron, forget all the other stuff to it. People have a lot of Aaron Rodgers jerseys.
Yeah.
And so I think that combined with a quarterback being in a premium position, Justin Fields being a star, those big runs, all that kind of stuff. Even my girls who aren't big football fans, I show them the videos of Justin. They're like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And they would love a Justin Fields jersey. So it's not shocking.
Yeah. It's not shocking at all.
Hold on. They would love a Justin Fields jersey, or you would love to buy one for them?
They want to get him one.
I'll get them one, but they would happily wear it. They know it. They know Dad likes the Bears. They like Dad. They love Dad. So they'll
love Dad.
They'll wear the Bear stuff.
I'm happy to hear that.
Yes,
That's
yes,
good news for you. All right, Chris, are you surprised by Justin Fields as the top jersey?
No, that's not surprising because I mean, like Jim was just saying, like Aaron Rodgers has been the quarterback for the Packers for so long. Like, I don't think you need to keep buying new Aaron Rodgers jerseys if you already have it. It's not like the uniforms changed or something like that.
I'll take a new one.
And Justin Fields is like definitely emerged into a superstar in the league this year. And yeah, that's not surprising. I mean, Chicago's right below us. It's not far at all.
But I am noticing that when I take the girls to school, the kids that wear jerseys, it's all over. It's not.
Yeah.
It could be
yeah.
Mahomes. It could be anyone.
Yeah, it's who your favorite player is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't. Not everybody has that. I grew up here. This is my team.
And they have
No
Packer
pride.
jerseys too, but you just see
Yeah.
more of everything now.
Joe Burr.
I'm sure.
I can't roll my R's, so
I'm sure.
Just Chris, can you roll your R's?
A little bit.
Can you say Joe Burr for me? Roll
Joe
the R.
Burr.
Yeah. That's it right there. All right, let's move on. I mentioned the betting odds earlier, and we didn't really get into that. So DraftKings Sportsbook has moved their line. The Las Vegas Raiders minus 450. Again, you would have to bet $450 to win 100 if Aaron Rodgers plays on the Raiders next year. The Jets are second at plus 325, so you bet 100 to win 325. And the Packers are plus 600 to be the home of number 12 in 2023. Chris, what do those updated lines by DraftKings tell you about the Aaron Rodgers situation?
Nothing at all, because DraftKings has nothing to do with what's going to happen. I mean, just like we were talking to Jason earlier, and I guess the odds were different before when Nathaniel Hackett got hired by the Jets. So, like, they have no idea either. They're just banking off of the buzz of him being at the program and everybody saying Raiders to him, to be honest. I think that's all it is. I don't think it means anything. I think that, if anything, I think there's a stronger possibility that he's in Green Bay than somewhere else, to be honest.
If you're playing the smart, safe bet is still the Packers,
Yeah,
just from
for
like
sure.
they control his rights. But I think there's a strong case that maybe the Packers are just over this. And on the field, like he's just now they have an out that he didn't play well enough where they can't justify it, at least internally to themselves, especially if they think they have something in Jordan Love. And look, I'm sure he looks good in practice, so the players are buying enough. But I'll say this, and this might shock you guys to think I'm an Aaron Rodgers, complete hater on it. I'd rather see him with the Raiders than the Jets, because the Jets just scream disaster.
But also it screams Favre all over again.
That too, but more of just, it's just going to be horrendous. But at the same time,
here we go.
Vegas has a high bust potential as well.
Mm-hmm.
But could you imagine, and this, I'm saying this treading lightly, but there is what's the word here? Safety in numbers with New York media. Green Bay Packers run Green Bay. They run the access player, reporters have to toe that line. That's not the case in Chicago or New York or Miami. Aaron is not going to get away with what he got away with in Green Bay, because the Jets and the Giants, or some of these teams, need the New York media more than they need the Jets cooperation.
Tarek Saleh on the private talking text line.
Yeah.
Bears suck. That's all he said.
All righty.
I should enjoy that. Thanks.
He's definitely not going to the Jets because he doesn't want to be Brett Favre.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you on that. All right, let's go to this. Chris, you kind of set Twitter on fire a little bit yesterday. A clip of you talking about Wisconsin basketball has catered over 16,000 views.
Ooh.
And about 40 responses on Twitter at ESPN Madison.
They need to make sure they listen to the whole show.
Including 6 tweets of 2 people, Brian and Gary, calling each other weirdos back and forth. So, Chris, I ask you, what's the, I don't mean this in it hurts your feelings worst insult. What's the worst insult where it's that wasn't a good insult? Because I think weirdo's got to be up there in terms of names to call somebody.
Oh yeah, I think one of the funniest insults to hear somebody say is a dork, because I feel like it's not real. I feel like only people only say that in movies. So I feel like if I was to hear somebody call somebody a dork, I'd probably cry laughing.
Dork, you're a dork.
To his point, is it my turn now?
Sure.
I say it in a loving way to my daughter, because she will sit down and open up a book and start reading Harry Potter, and I'm like, "What's up, nerd? What's up, dork?" But I say it in a loving, a term of endearment more than in a mean way, because it's such a. I mean, it's more of my generation, but such a dorky thing to say, to call someone a dork now, that it's lost its meaning. So yeah, I'm with you on how goofy that would sound. I don't know. I honestly, the worst insult, snowflake. It's so lame.
Yeah, that's up there. That's
9.5 times out of 10, if you're calling someone a snowflake, you're just deflecting.
Yeah.
Like you're the one that's all
Yeah.
caught up in your feelings,
Yeah.
but you want to blame it on someone else.
Yeah, that's good. I like that one.
Thanks.
All good answers.
I wonder what's the most classic insult. Punk. It's got to be punk.
Go ahead and make my day, punk. Oh man, when you play football again, can you just make
make a hit for the Generals of the USFL this spring?
I gotta remember that.
What up, punk?
I gotta
when you
remember
get a
that.
sack?
I gotta remember that. I got in trouble last year. My nephews didn't know I cussed that much, so I gotta remember that on the field.
Yeah.
I cuss a lot.
Is USFL the one where they do all the sideline
Oh, yeah,
interviews during the game?
mic. No. That was the XFL.
Okay.
USFL, everybody's mic. They put a camera like in some people's like face
Whoa.
mask. Yeah. So like, you ever play NFL 2K5?
Yes.
Remember
Great
I
game,
used to
Terrell
be able to
Owens. Yeah.
go into the helmet?
Yeah.
It's it gives you that view, which that's dope.
And you're mic'd up as well?
Yeah. They
Oh,
have like 15
Please
people mic'd up.
drop punk left and right.
I cannot
I'm definitely
wait.
dropping punk.
Every time you tackle someone,
Punk
be
and
like,
Dort.
punk.
I cannot wait to get Chris Orr weekly updates from the USFL of all of his sound bites.
He could go viral if he just tackled everyone and said punk every time.
Punk.
It's so out of left field.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do that. I'm glad y'all gave me this idea.
Yeah, we're full of them.
I just have to remember it.
We'll keep them coming. Jim Rutledge, you punk. You're the winner of throwing stones today.
Chris Orr's the punk. How do you like them apples, punk? Oh, man. All right, this is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they stay there.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Miss any of the show? Find full show podcasts free on Wisconsin On Demand and wherever you get your podcasts. Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
This Badger Minute powered by Everlight Solar. Simplify your life, save money, and clean up the environment. Learn more at everlightsolar.com. Proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. The buzz continues around the Wisconsin football team and new head coach Luke Fickell. The Badgers announced the launch set for Saturday, April 22nd last week, which will be an open practice held at Camp Randall for all fans to attend for free. In the meantime, though, ESPN Radio's Ian Fitzsimmons of Freddie and Fitzsimmons told Badgers fans what to expect with Fickell last week on Wilde and Tausch.
That dude is a born winner. That man hates to lose a coin toss. I mean, he develops guys. He'll take a 2-star and turn him into a 5-star.
Lock in your prices at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin by February 28th and get 0% interest for up to 48 months. Visit PellaWI.com.
Hey, Matt Hamilton here to tell you about Ridgetop Exteriors. They provide the best quality roofs, siding, windows, and doors, expertly installed and at an affordable price. Trusted and recommended experts here in the area. They consider customer service to be their number one priority and strive to exceed the expectations of homeowners they serve. Best part is they're local. They live and work in the areas they serve. So the people they're helping are oftentimes their friends and neighbors. Go to ridgetopexteriors.com now to get your free estimate for your next home project.
The best quality roofs, siding, windows, and doors, expertly installed and at an affordable price. Hi, this is Bo from Ridgetop Exteriors. Integrity, excellence, quality, and community are what we value here at Ridgetop because we want to do a great job to help our friends and neighbors. We always want to exceed expectations because customer service is our number one goal. We're trusted local experts you can count on for your home exterior projects. Thanks for choosing Ridgetop Exteriors for your home's next project. Go to ridgetopexteriors.com for a free estimate.
Jim Rutledge here to tell you about X Golf Madison, and the most important thing that you need to know is that X Golf Madison is for everyone. Heck, I golf there. Whether you're a seasoned pro, a new golfer, or in between like me, X Golf Madison is going to be fun for you. They have a full bar, excellent service, great food, and the most advanced and accurate golf simulators in the world. You can play one of their 50 courses available, take lessons from a PGA pro, hit the driving range, or even join a league. Stop by their East Madison or Middleton location today, or visit them online at xgolfwisconsin.com.
Zimbrick Chevrolet.
When was the last time you had your oil changed or your tires rotated? Do you need new tires, a battery, perhaps some windshield wipers?
Zimbrick Chevrolet Service Center is equipped to help you with routine maintenance, major repairs, and everything in between. Get your free battery inspection coupon and schedule an appointment today at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Don't overpay. Shop Zimbrick Chevrolet on Main Street in Sun Prairie.
Main Street, Sun Prairie, Zimbrick Chevrolet.
A wide array of opportunities abound at Waste Management.
I've been with Waste Management for 11 years now. I started out in our call center, transitioned over to our dispatch department, and I am a supervisor in my current role. I've worked for companies where a lot of the promotions are based on seniority. It's never been that. It's about proving yourself, getting in there, showing that you're comfortable, you're confident, you're ready for the challenge. There's been a lot of room for growth.
Join the Waste Management family. Just search online, Waste Management Careers.
I am the fittest, healthiest, and lightest I've been in years, thanks to the team at Carbon World Health. Jim Rutledge here, and I've been working with Dr. Nestor Rodriguez and his training staff for years now, and I've seen my fitness and strength increase steadily. Now I'm seeing weight loss like I've never expected, thanks to semaglutide. I'm dropping fat, not muscle, with this game-changing, FDA-approved weight loss treatment. Go to carbonworldhealth.com today to learn more.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
Aaron Rodgers is going to sedate himself and seclude himself somewhere. Who knows? But he's got the kind of money where he's able to do whatever he wants. If you want that kind of money in your retirement, go see my friends at Canopy Wealth Management.
What just happened?
There's 10,000 things jammed in this live read
did
book.
he just throw like 18 papers in the air?
Well, that was the point. I don't know why all those papers are in there. But at Canopy Wealth Management, they take the time to truly get to know and understand the dynamics of your values, goals, and plans for your retirement. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started with them today. That's canopy-wealth.com. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Whoa. You already sedated back there?
Yeah.
Up is down, down is up.
Well, I wanted to chime in and just say
Alex Strofe, Jim Rutledge, Chris Orr. Go ahead. I wanted to at least set the show up.
Yeah,
you can chime in. Yeah.
The last segment of the show has just become Jim bitching about what's wrong in the studio. Like every day, the final segment of the show is just Jim complaining.
No, you guys I just threw him out of the way. I was trying to do the lives. You're the one that brought it up. I forgot. I know we're on
Jim,
camera.
You threw like 85 papers in there. It looked like it was snowing in the studio.
But it was mainly because I'm trying to get to the live reads that are in the sheet, and I don't know what all that paper was, so I just tossed it all.
Just everywhere.
Sadler chimes in. Sadler, that's how he started his text. Hey, punk sauce, let's get punky dancing. So gauntlet throwing. Oh, Strofe. 844-770-3776.
Tarek Salah followed up on his private text and said, tell Jim he's a punk ass.
That is definitely Tarek. Like, that's not even like him trying to be funny. Like, he would have called me that regardless.
Way to go, Strofe.
He would have absolutely. And look, he can. Tarek could beat the snot out of me and you combined.
Yeah, at the same time.
Strofe, yes.
With one hand tied.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah. Also, some reporting here. It sounds like the Bucks are the leader in the clubhouse for Jay Crowder, and they're all in trying to get Jay Crowder from the Suns. Now, I'm down with this as long as all in means like we're going to give you a poo-poo platter and you're going to take it.
Yeah.
Because if you've gone this long, if you're the Suns, they've tried to trade him. They tried to trade him to the Nets with Kyrie. They've tried to loop him in the Laker deal that they did with Washington. He's not a lot of takers for it.
He's trying to get rid of him.
Right. So if the Bucks is like a second rounder, Noir, and who else am I missing here? George Hill, maybe. It's just a pile of garbage. It's like a trade you would do in like Madden.
George Hill's all right. He's having a decent year.
But it's like an NBA 2K trade of like, I'll just give you a lot of things for one really actually good asset.
Yeah.
I can see that.
This whole Jay Crowder thing.
The Suns don't want George Hill or any of these players.
Well, this has been going on forever now.
Well, because they think Eric Name will talk to them tomorrow, but Eric Name from the Athletics said every week they don't like what they're getting, but that's why this is going on forever because the Bucks have a standing offer. The Suns are trying to get something more. Nobody's giving it to them, so the Bucks are just kind of waiting this out. I hope they don't bid against themselves at the end.
What are you guys more intrigued by that could potentially happen on Thursday? We know the trade deadline for the NBA is Thursday, but also likely will be the day LeBron James breaks the all-time NBA scoring record and likely against the Milwaukee Bucks. He's got 36 points to go to tie it, and they play the Thunder tonight. So likely Thursday against the Bucks, unless LeBron just goes bananas tonight.
I do hope it happens against the Bucks, and it'd be cool to happen in the state for anyone that gets to go to that game.
Well, it's in LA.
Oh, it's in LA?
Yeah.
Oh, for some reason. Sorry, I was thinking about our owner was getting tickets and bringing people, so I thought that was meant it was in Milwaukee. But you're right, they already played their game in Milwaukee.
Well, right.
Then I don't care what happened.
I saw somewhere not too long ago where they said tickets were going for like $92K or something.
Yeah,
like
so
that.
for tonight's game, they've been going up as high as $100,000.
But I guess and I'm not even the all-time leader in scoring in basketball history is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Correct.
Nobody would call him the greatest player of all time.
Soon to
Karl
be
Malone's
LeBron.
like number 2 or whatever. What's that?
Soon to be LeBron.
But like same stance. But my point being, this is not the NFL rushing record. This isn't a baseball record. I don't know what the record is. Actually, I do. In the NBA, it seems more than ever, it's rings, not stats. Because there isn't a stat in the NBA that like baseball has or the NFL has where it's like, oh my God, they got to hit this stat. Partially because, look, Wilt broke a lot of these stats when he scored 100 points. That's the number, actually. That's the one. Like baseball has some where it's like, hit above 400, oh my God, or break the home run record. This is not breaking the home run record. Like,
yeah, but to me, it just adds to the legacy of LeGoat James, who is the leader in postseason game-winning or game-tying field goals with 5, more than Michael Jordan. He also
Take that for data.
number 4 in assists. He's also the
Take
only
that for
player
data.
to come back from the greatest team ever established, 3-1, and lead in every single category.
well,
with
the Bulls
Take that
72
for
and 10
data.
team was the greatest team ever established. They won the ring.
Okay, but also let's talk about the legacy of LeBron and how hard it is to consistently. I know people want to talk about how it is to get to the finals and like, oh, he doesn't have these wins, but we need to talk about how hard it is to even get to the finals. He's done it the most. When Jordan didn't get to the finals, nobody talks about those years. Everybody only talks about the 6 years that
If you ain't
won.
first, you're last.
Nobody
Chris Orr.
talks about the years that he didn't get there where he wasn't first at all.
Wait, so Chris, I'm confused. Are you a LeBron James fan?
I'm a LeBron James fan, and I think that rings are like, because who wins the ring? Who wins the ring? Who wins the ring, Strofe? You tell me. The Chicago Bulls have those 6 rings, right? Not just Michael Jordan, because Robert Horry could be considered one of the greatest. You know what I mean? If we just went by rings. So I think all these other things come into factor here when we talk about the greatest basketball player to ever exist, LeGoat James.
LeGoat James.
Look, the fact that Chris got so triggered about it proves he's very insecure in his stance on it. Because here's the thing. All I was trying to say is that the points thing, LeBron being number 2 and number 1, if you're a LeBron stan on it, that doesn't change anything. It doesn't change the argument.
But people talk about him as a scorer.
But nobody calls Kareem Abdul-Jabbar the greatest player of all time either.
But people say LeBron's not a scorer. But how can you not be a scorer
This
if you're
is
number
bad.
1
We can
of all
talk
time?
about it off the air. This is Rutledge and Hamilton presented by Coors Light. The happy hour at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton is still Madison's best kept secret. So, shh. From delicious appetizers to amazing drinks, and of course, the ambiance provided by that horseshoe bar makes Ruth's Chris Steakhouse a must-go-to. From cocktails with friends, networking happy hours, or just treating the family and everything in between, Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton has everything you're looking for. So the next time you're looking to treat yourself, go to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. And remember, it's Madison's best kept secret. Shh.
Hey, this is former Badger Brad Norton.
That's a fake. Great call and great execution.
You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN Madison studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Yeah, it is. And I'm Alex Strofe. Your Sports Center update brought to you by the Nitty Gritty.